Did you feel like the two halves were dramatically different?
Well, I want to say hello to my good friend Gary Wright, who's been a big supporter of this club for many years. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
To answer Jeremiah's question, though, to get us started, both halves felt kind of the same because I don't think we played up to our potential. But, you know, the quality that we have, you know, just showed through. I thought there were moments in the first half where we were close. Obviously, Jordan's ball against post was, you know, one of those moments. I'll be keen to hear what you guys fought mob and all that sort of stuff, you know, what the expected goals are. But, you know, I just didn't think that our team played as well as they could. That's credit in part to Minnesota and Adrian and getting his team ready, because the West is going to be a dogfight. And, you know, again, just we survived a little bit until our quality showed through.
Other hands. Yep.
Hey, Coach. We noted earlier, I think this is Christian's third penalty he's won so far this season. He put in what feels like a traditional Christian rolled-on performance at this point, put up impressive duels numbers, had the goal, assist, won the penalty. What does getting this kind of performance from Christian week in and week out do for the team, especially in Joao Paulo's absence?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a question there. That statement of fact was pretty clear and pretty on point. Christian has been doing that for a long, long time, and we are grateful. We never, you know, we as coaches never overlook all the small details that he brings to the team in the game. You know, he causes penalties because his movement is aggressive inside the penalty box. You know, he attacks the prime assist zone well. You know, he just puts himself in harm's way at times. You know, so that's just part of who he is. And today was another, you know, good performance that I hope other people, not just the fans and us, I hope people are paying attention.
John.
Coach, this is the club's first win after the Champions League final, and at this point you have two ways to get back to the final Champions League to defend your title, being the MLS Cup or winning the regular season championship in the West, where you're currently 13 points back. How important was it today to get back on the winning path, and what's it going to take to get not just back to the Champions League final, but also back in the hunt for the Western Conference?
Well, we talked about it when we came back from, you know, the Open Cup game. I put up on the board where we stood, you know, in the standings up there for them to see. We jumped a couple places. You know, we've got 3 wins, a 6th place team that we're chasing as our next opponent. They've got 4 wins. So again, the West is going to be a dogfight. We are not going to focus on anything but the next game, and then the next game, and then the next game, and wherever we end up at the end of the year. I hope it's in the playoffs. I hope it's as high a seed as we can. Last year, Colorado caught us at the end, you know, so nothing's given here in this league. So if we do our job this game, focus on the next one, that's the best way to, you know, hopefully move forward. And that's kind of been our process ever since we've been here.
Reminder, if you have a question on Zoom, to please hit that raised hand function button. Before we go over there, any other questions in the room? Yeah, we can come back to Jeremiah.
First question on Zoom will be Jada Evans.
Okay, hey, Kelly, we'll just got one more in here, then we'll come over to you next.
Sorry about that.
Totally fine. Go ahead, Jeremiah.
Yeah, if you could speak a little bit about the defense specifically on set pieces. Looked like they got some looks there that maybe you wouldn't want to give up.
Did you hear my post-game talk in there? So they should be happy because we won. the quality of, the goals, how did we close the game out, but let's talk honestly about our defending. And, one of those details is set pieces. So we gave up 5 corner kicks in the first 12 or 13 minutes. And those come down, Jeremiah, to details. The clearances, your body position, your reading of the game, pressing out higher at the right moment so they can't shoot, that they play negative. I mean, there's a lot of small details that go into even preventing corner kicks. And then Steph comes up with that unbelievable save, and we don't want to have to rely on those types of saves on a consistent basis. So that certainly was one of the things that we talked about in our post-game messaging. And then we as a staff, because it's my job to make sure that the players have the tools that they need to defend well. So we'll look at that and make sure that we're doing our job as well to give them hopefully a little more success.
Okay, I see there are a couple of questions on Zoom, so for those, we'll go upstairs to Kelly Schutz. Kelly, go ahead.
All right, let's go to Jada.
Thank you. Thanks, Brian, for taking the time. I wanted to ask a little bit about Obed and his performance, and then also early thoughts on what you plan to do as far as Wednesday's match, because he got the yellow card and will be suspended.
Well, we'll figure out whether Kellen or Josh slips in there. We might have some other issues. Obviously, we have to go through the recovery process, to see how the final lineup shakes out for Wednesday. As far as Obed is concerned, look, he took an early yellow, and I think he was trying not to get a second yellow, which is admirable. But, sometimes you lose that little bit of aggressiveness that you need in that part of the field. So the change was just to, get him to learn a little bit, push him out into the second half. Let's see how the game goes. And then having the luxury of having a guy like Kellen come on who steadied us a little bit, I thought it was good.
Next question will be from Charles Bone.
Hey, Coach, I know you talked about this before, and he's been in this current role for a while, but I just was hoping to get a little bit more insight from you about Christian. You had a really good central midfielder, kind of utility guy, and he's turned into this exceedingly effective type of pressing winger. I just wonder if this was, you think he could do this anywhere, or what is it that's got him playing at such a high level in that specific role?
Well, my earlier comment about making sure that people were watching was specific to a group of people. In case you guys didn't catch that. I think Christian is very valuable in his tactical acumen, his physical contributions, and, the guy's a winner. The guy wants to win, hate to lose. I think sometimes he borders on that. He doesn't like losing, and that is something that I think is a good quality to have. So the competitiveness is there, his determination, his ability to get into, again, we might play a little different than Greg. We try and attack the prime assist zone maybe a little bit more often. And then, look, the goal he scored, he's done that in years past. He's had a couple goals from outside of the box as well. So, again, he's been a great player for us. And, wherever his final outcome is with the national team, I keep my fingers crossed.
Do you think he deserves more minutes with the national team than he's gotten so far?
Well, that's up to Greg. You'll have to ask him that question.
Thanks.
We'll go to Jada Evans again now.
Thanks. Brian, I hope you accept this question, but with the trophy, the CCL trophy, and you had it there Wednesday and it was out there again today, could it be a distraction at all, or as far as, needing to kind of move on or pack that kind of away to focus on the MLS play?
I will always accept your questions, Jada, regardless of how challenging they are. That's your job, and I have to accept that. I think you do a good job. As far as that trophy is concerned, I want the team to be proud of that accomplishment because we were the first MLS team to win CCL, the current version of CCL, and that's something that we're very proud of. Now, The other side of that is just making sure that the players understand, which they do. You know, I don't have to say it too much. I had to do a little bit of messaging this week, but they understand that we're not just going to rest on our laurels. That's not what the Seattle Sounders do. We want to be in the playoffs, coming the end of the year, playing at a high level, and going deep into the playoffs. And the goal for this club now is to win MLS Cup. That's the goal. I mean, look, can we catch a supporter shield? I mean, teams in the East are flying out of the gate, and LAFC certainly has done a great job to start the season. We'll see. We'll keep plugging away. We'll go game by game. I don't know if we can catch them, but we'll certainly try. But what I want for this team is to understand that just because we won Champions League does not mean that that's a successful season. We want to make sure we get more.
Next, we'll go to Alonso Contreras.
Thank you, Kelly. How are you, Coach? Congratulations on the win. Coach, I would like to ask you about the PK since Lodeiro most of the time take it. Was any reason behind for Raul to take it since the Peruvian roster is coming up next week?
I didn't ask those two. I do not have specific, okay, you're going to take this one, this one, this one. I let the senior players solve it amongst themselves. So I'll ask them, or I might not ask them.
Okay, Kelly, if there are no others, and I don't think there are, I think we'll conclude the Zoom portion, and we'll take one or two more here in the room. Jeremiah, yep.
Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but you had said something about there being maybe some other issues. Were there any injuries or anything like that that came up today?
Well, we don't know yet.
Okay.
We'll have to see how they recover, and then I'll put out a lineup on short rest for a Wednesday game in some heat and humidity and a little bit of squad rotation because we've got 3 big games in a week. We'll have to assess that and,